What's going to happen next at the Coventry Building Society Arena, guys? WASPS are in serious trouble. Get your thoughts down in the comments as we go through this video today. Before we get into it, make sure to drop a like. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that red subscribe button down below. And like I say, get your comments in if you're a WASPS fan, a Coventry City fan, or a neutral on the outside looking at this thinking, what is this mess and what's it all about? We're going to go through it today, guys, try and give it a brief summary and tell you what's actually going on. So as you can see, breaking news this week, WASPS have gone into administration. You can call it breaking news because it's officially happened, or you can say this was a long time coming. You can see here 167 job losses as Premiership club follow Worcester Warriors into administration. It is a disaster for WASPS. Let's start with the origins of this stadium. Now, the stadium was built for Coventry City, the football club. Obviously, Coventry were at the time a Premier League club when they thought up the idea of relocating stadiums. Coventry City played at Highfield Road, a stadium we owned. That's a key point there. We owned Highfield Road. Had done since 1899. Really good memories there for lots of Coventry fans. But the owners at the time in the late 90s, early 2000s thought up the idea, let's move to a new stadium. Maybe at the time it might have looked like a stroke of genius moving. It seriously hasn't done for Coventry City. And I'm telling you, this stadium could be cursed. When this idea was really starting to come to fruition, it was in the late 90s. Coventry City was still in the top flight around here. And I think it was Brian Richardson thought up the idea. Didn't actually come to fruition until 2005 when Coventry City had dropped down into the Championship. Now, this has big ramifications because Coventry City built a stadium bigger than Highfield Road. The Ricoh Arena, as it was then, was 32,000-seater stadium when it was built. It actually had plans for it to be a bigger stadium when Coventry City were in the top flight, and they thought England might actually host the World Cup in 2006. The Ricoh Arena was finished in 2005. It's built on the outskirts of Coventry as opposed to Highfield Road, which was in the city centre. And as I say, the problem was this stadium was massive, over 32,000 seats. Coventry City slipped down to the Championship at this point. Could have a knock-on effect to crowds. To be honest, Coventry in the first few years did have good crowds at the Ricoh, but the important thing is Coventry didn't own this stadium. So we went from Highfield Road, which we owned, to this stadium, which was built up, but Coventry didn't own it. Now, for a few years, things were okay at the Ricoh. Coventry City had a couple of okay seasons in the Championship. When we come into the 2010s, it becomes more of a problem as Coventry City are struggling to pay the bills here. And we actually relocated to Northampton for the 2013-14 season and for the first bit of the 2014-15 season. We did come back after reaching an agreement back to Coventry. A great return. 27,000 came to the Gillingham game. In that same year, 2014, WASPS Rugby Club, a London-based rugby club, came to Coventry. They saw the Ricoh Arena and they'd had a couple of problems in the years leading up to that and saw that as a way to maybe move their club forward. Heading over to WASP's history leading up to the Coventry City move, you can see they're a very successful rugby club, one of the longest going as well. They've been around a long time, WASPs. Obviously, like I say, based in London. They'd played at Loftus Road, which is Queen's Park Rangers Football Club Stadium, and Adams Park, which is Wycombe Wanderers. You can see they're champions for a few years in the 2000s of the Premiership and some cups over there as well. So, like I say, a very successful club. In the couple years prior to the move to Coventry, things weren't as good. You can see an 11th place finish in 2011-12, 8th place in 2012-13. And like I say, in 2014, WASPS did move up to Coventry, an 80-mile journey from where they'd been playing before, and it would lead to financial problems. Maybe in hindsight, it looks to a lot of people now like it was a stupid decision from the get-go, but at the time there were some people that thought this was a good idea. You could see WASPS didn't have a terrible start. They did get some decent crowds in their first couple of years in Coventry. You can see they came third in the Premiership and first and runners-up in 2016-17, so it wasn't always bad for WASPS, but the problem was financially, and that is what's caught up to them now. So how did it come to this? Let's have a little look at the life of WASPS. October 2014 is where you can see Coventry City Council unanimously approved the sale of shares in Arena Coventry Limited to WASPS. And if you jump forwards 8 years, you can see here, June 2022, WASPS put in a £13 million funding application to the West Midlands Combined Authority. WASPS owner gives up training ground as off-field issues mount. WASPS confirmed dialogue with HMRC over unpaid tax bill. WASPS tell investors they are close to securing funds to repay bondholders due in May following the $35 million raised to purchase the Ricoh Arena in 2014. WASPS file notice to the High Court in London that they intend to appoint administrators to protect the club's interest. WASPS in talks with potential investors. American billionaire John McAvoy considers bid for Coventry City and CBS Arena. So, like I say, say, what's uncertain is the next couple steps in this situation. With this administration, Wasps will be getting relegated. Obviously, best case scenario for Wasps is they were to get a new buyer and the debts would be removed, but it sounds so much easier said than done. And obviously, they'd hope for a swift return back to the Premiership. As for Coventry City, at the moment, doesn't appear to be too many knock-on effects for us. Remember, we're tenants at this stadium. At the time of this video, we're playing tonight a home game against Sheffield United. Remember as well, there's been spats between the clubs and the fans in terms of the issues with the pitch at the start of this season. It was deemed unplayable after rugby was played there over the summer. Like I say, it's obviously a disaster for Wasps. For Coventry City, it's a bit of a strange situation to be in because we're kind of watching this unfold and not too sure on what knock-on effects it could have to us. Obviously, some Coventry City fans will see this as a cause for optimism. Can Coventry try and pinch the stadium? I mean, lots of people over the last couple of years have said that Coventry City are holding on for Wasps to have problems for them to then make a bid on the cheap for the stadium. I mean, Coventry City's owners have been saying for, feels like an eternity, at least 8-9 years now, that they actually plan to have their own stadium, which they'd build and they'd own. They've been saying that for ages now, and there's no concrete evidence that anything's in the making of that just yet. And let's be real, guys, it would be an absolute waste of what is an amazing stadium. Yes, Coventry City fans might say Highfield Road had more character, but look at this, a 32,000 seater stadium is perfect for sports, isn't it, really? And like I say, it'd be an absolute waste if Coventry were to actually go and build a new stadium. It's obviously deeply upsetting for the people that have lost their jobs. I completely understand that. I've always had sympathy for original Wasps fans from London watching their club move up to Coventry in the first place. You know, we've seen this in football with the likes of Wimbledon moving to Milton Keynes Dons. You know, it's not great when a club relocates because fans are the club, if that makes sense. Obviously, people that live in Coventry, some of them have bought into being Wasps fans. I do feel like with some of the issues recently, some of the fans have actually been alienated, and that's why the crowds aren't so good recently. But I'm not a massive rugby person myself, but I have been down to the Butts Park a few times, and I don't mind going to watch Coventry rugby. I feel like there's more integrity if you go and watch the club, which was kind of originally from there. I'm just not about that. Like I say, no disrespect to Wasps fans originally that supported them before. I just think what it goes to show is it doesn't seem to be practical for clubs, whether it be a football club or a rugby club, to relocate in the UK. Like I say, you build your following from where you're from, and to move like they have done, it's just led to problems. Like I say, the financial problems have obviously come from quite a while ago, but it's not great for Wasps, and we don't know what this can mean for Coventry City either at the moment. So we will just have to wait and see what is going to be the next thing to unfold in this ongoing saga. Like I say, guys, do drop a like. It's completely free, and subscribe. If you haven't already, got a comment in. Let me know your thoughts, especially if you're a Wasps or a Coventry City fan. I'm intrigued to see your thoughts down in the comments. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.